In the long and turbulent history of modern conflict, there are rare moments that don't just mark a turning point. They redefine the very nature of warfare itself. These are the moments that echo through military strategy for decades, forcing nations to rethink what is possible on the battlefield. The August 2025 strike by Ukraine's Flamingo FP-5 missile was one such moment. A technological leap born under the relentless pressure of invasion. It was a bold demonstration that innovation can flourish even in the darkest times, and that necessity truly is the mother of invention. This single event signaled a permanent and dramatic shift in the Black Sea's strategic balance. Suddenly, the rules of engagement were rewritten, and the region's power dynamics were thrown into uncertainty. The Flamingo wasn't just a weapon, it became a symbol of Ukrainian resilience, ingenuity, and defiance. It was a clear warning to adversaries that the old rules no longer applied and that Ukraine was ready to chart its own path. Born from necessity, the Flamingo project united Ukraine's top defense minds, who worked tirelessly and without the usual bureaucratic drag. Their collaboration was fueled by a sense of urgency and national pride. Their mission was clear and ambitious: to build a long-range, precise and survivable missile, one that was completely independent of Western systems and free from the political strings that often come attached to foreign aid. The name Flamingo, chosen for its elegance and a touch of irony, was a deliberate act of psychological warfare. It stood in sharp contrast to Russia's brutish, intimidating weapon names and sent a message of confidence and creativity. The weapon embodied a new Ukrainian identity: smart, agile, and precise, relying on innovation rather than brute force. It was a testament to a nation determined to outthink and outmaneuver its adversaries. Before its dramatic debut, the Flamingo was little more than a rumor, a so-called ghost weapon that many believed Ukraine simply couldn't build. Its existence was doubted by friend and foe alike. Russian command assumed Ukraine's missile technology was limited to outdated Soviet modifications. That critical miscalculation would soon prove disastrous for their strategic planning. The Flamingo's successful deployment revealed Ukraine's mastery of advanced missile technology and modern operational doctrine, stunning observers around the world. In a single, decisive strike, it exposed a critical vulnerability in Russia's supposedly impenetrable defenses, forever altering the balance of power in the region. August 30, 2025 dawned quietly, the horizon painted in soft gold and blue as the Black Sea shimmered under the first light. At Russia's FSB outpost on Cape Tarkankut, perched on Crimea's rugged western tip, the day began like any other: routine, secure, and seemingly unthreatened. This base was more than just a military installation. It was a nerve center for Russian intelligence gathering and electronic warfare operations across the Black Sea, coordinating surveillance and defense for the entire region. Protected by advanced S-400 air defense systems and layers of security, its personnel felt untouchable, confident in their technological superiority and the fortress-like reputation of their post. But then, without warning, a series of precise explosions shattered the morning calm, tearing through the facility with devastating force. The first strike severed the main communications array, instantly isolating the base from the outside world and plunging its operators into confusion. Subsequent impacts followed in rapid succession, destroying radar installations, command centers, and barracks, each missile hitting with surgical precision, leaving little time for response. Russian air defenses never fired a shot. The Flamingos, Ukraine's new strike force, operated in eerie silence, bypassing the very systems designed to stop them. The psychological shock was immense. Russia's technological edge had been bypassed in a matter of minutes, leaving soldiers stunned and command in disarray. Ukraine's information teams moved swiftly, releasing satellite and drone footage of the devastation to the world, ensuring the impact was not just physical, but also psychological and political. The message was unmistakable. Ukraine now possessed the capability to strike any Crimean target at will, shattering the illusion of Russian invulnerability. This was more than a military victory. It was a masterstroke of strategic communication, signaling a dramatic shift in the balance of power. Ukraine had moved decisively from a defensive posture to taking the fight deep into enemy territory, demonstrating new reach and resolve. The Flamingo's debut sent shockwaves through Russia's regional command, shaking their confidence and forcing a fundamental reassessment of their security in Crimea. The Flamingo FP-5 is a triumph of Ukrainian engineering, subsonic, stealthy, and precise. With a range over 700 kilometers, it can hit any target in Crimea or even inside Russia. Its composite airframe and low-altitude flight make it nearly invisible to radar. Advanced guidance, INS Tercom, DSMAC, and terminal electro-optical seekers ensure pinpoint accuracy. A small turbofan engine gives it long range and a low thermal signature. The 500-kilogram payload is versatile, high-explosive or submunitions, tailored to the mission. Crucially, it's cost-effective and scalable. Ukraine can produce them in numbers, unlike expensive Western missiles. The Flamingo is a workhorse designed for sustained, systematic strikes to degrade Russian capabilities. The Flamingo's success was no solo act. It relied heavily on the Bober drone, Ukraine's innovative long-range UAV. The Bober has become a symbol of Ukraine's ingenuity, designed to operate deep behind enemy lines and play a pivotal supporting role in complex operations. In the tense hours before the main strike, waves of Bobers were launched toward Crimea. Their mission was to map out Russian air defenses, probe for weaknesses, and create confusion among enemy operators. By flying in unpredictable patterns, they forced Russian crews to stay on high alert. The presence of so many drones in the sky compelled Russian operators to activate their radar sites and fire off expensive surface-to-air missiles, often at targets worth a fraction of the cost. Acting as decoys, the Bobers saturated the airspace, overwhelming Russian defenses at the very moment the Flamingos approached their targets, making it nearly impossible to distinguish real threats from distractions. While Russian missiles locked onto and destroyed the cheaper drones, the real missiles, carrying the true payload, slipped through the chaos, often undetected and unchallenged. This clever blend of low-cost expendable drones and high-value precision-guided missiles is at the heart of Ukraine's new asymmetric strategy, allowing them to punch above their weight against a better-equipped adversary. Bobers are designed to be expendable. Their sacrifice is calculated and deliberate, ensuring that the more valuable Flamingos can reach and destroy their intended targets with minimal resistance. This approach forces Russian commanders into a constant dilemma: ignore the drones and risk devastating attacks, or engage and reveal their positions, wasting resources and exposing vulnerabilities. It's a relentless, effective cost-benefit calculation that keeps Russian defenders off balance, drains their resources, and gives Ukraine a crucial edge in the ongoing conflict. The Flamingo FP5's deployment is a strategic breakthrough for Ukraine. For the first time, Kyiv can strike any Crimean target with a homegrown weapon, free from Western restrictions. This autonomy lets Ukraine target key Russian infrastructure, bridges, bases, depots, at will. The Flamingo enables a corrosion strategy, methodically eroding Russia's occupation and supply lines. Its psychological impact is huge, boosting Ukrainian morale and proving innovation under fire. Diplomatically, it shows partners their support yields real results, encouraging further aid. For Moscow, it's a warning. The longer the war, the stronger Ukraine's arsenal becomes. The Flamingo is more than a missile. It's a tool of leverage, reshaping the conflict's landscape. Ukraine now holds the initiative. For Russia, the Flamingo strike was a strategic shock. Crimea, once seen as an invulnerable fortress, was exposed as vulnerable to clever, cost-effective attacks. The S-400 system's failure forced Russia to rethink its air defense strategy. To protect Crimea, Russia must now divert defenses from other fronts, creating new vulnerabilities. Every base and depot in Crimea is now a target, forcing costly dispersal and hardening efforts. Defending Crimea is becoming a logistical and economic drain. Over time, Ukraine's strikes could make Russia's position untenable, even forcing a Black Sea fleet withdrawal. Crimea is shifting from asset to liability, a cage, not a fortress. The Flamingo has Russia looking over its shoulder, waiting for the next strike. The Flamingo strike sent shockwaves through global defense circles. For Ukraine's Western partners, it validated investment in Kyiv's domestic defense industry. For buyers of Russian air defenses, it raised doubts about the S-400's effectiveness. Military analysts worldwide began rethinking integrated air defense doctrine. Ukraine's use of drone swarms and cruise missiles is now a model for future warfare. The event highlights the democratization of precision strike capabilities, no longer the domain of superpowers alone. More nations can now project power at distance, changing the global balance. Regional conflicts may become more volatile, but smaller states gain new deterrence options. The Flamingo is a harbinger of a more unpredictable era. The Flamingo FP5 is more than a missile. It's a blueprint for modern asymmetric warfare. Ukraine's blend of high-tech and low-cost solutions has set a new standard. The coordinated use of drones and missiles is a model others will follow and refine. Future systems will integrate AI, autonomous swarms, and smarter missiles, accelerating the arms race. Traditional, centralized military assets are increasingly vulnerable to distributed, affordable threats. The cost-exchange ratio now favors the nimble and innovative. The Flamingo's lesson: a motivated, tech-savvy nation can outmaneuver a larger foe. Its true victory is strategic and psychological, reshaping the battlefield and inspiring others. In 21st century warfare, the clever, unexpected move can change everything.